Welcome to the Spirit Guide Daily. Hey, these are daily messages that will cross your path when they're meant to because they're all timeless. When we're in a collective, we all share energy. This is the Thelema Tarot deck. I absolutely love it. I should probably replace it because it's a little beaten up, but I get pretty attached to my deck, so I'm not sure I will. This is the Wisdom of the House of the Night, and this is the magical messages from fairies. They're not fairies, they're spirits fair, but I say that every single time. Hey guys, before I get started, please don't forget to subscribe because it helps my channel, and if you want to book me for a private reading, there is a link to my website in the description box down below, and that is the only way to book me. No idea why I've been bridging in this particular batch. I usually do it off camera. I'm doing it on camera now. I'm not sure why. All right, here we go. Let's get going. 1 and 2 and 3. Really positive, good energy coming up. 1 and 2. Yee. 4 of Swords in the upright. Taking a pause, taking a breather, meditation. This is the kind of the resting in peace type of energy that does not necessarily mean death. It can in combination with other cards. You always have to wait and check the vibe on something. This is rest and restoration. 1 and 2 and 3. I want to get more cards on that before I comment. Ten of Swords in the upright. Good gracious. That is one of the card combinations that does actually mean death, but it needs to be in a slightly different orientation. 1 and 2. The Ten of Swords is actually a spiritual enlightenment card. If you look at this person, they are kind of pierced along their chakra points, and in the background, the sun is meant to be coming up. It is one of the cards for spiritual awakening as well. It looks like you're kind of leveling up in your ability to receive messages again. And I think you've been like kind of muted for a while. And it may be because, you know, one of the things, will our guides force issues? Yes, they will force issues. It's for our own good. We really are not puppets on a string. We come here wishing to learn specific lessons. And if we're struggling with that because we are attached to this human identity and this human soul, then the universe has to get a little creative. And sometimes it really will kind of almost put blinders on your third eye for a while. 2 of Pentacles in reverse, which is kind of a missed connection. It can be a missed opportunity, and it can be holding somebody accountable. But it's also the missing puzzle piece, and that's really kind of what I've got there, is that there's no death in this draw, by the way. Meditation is going to start bringing you answers in a way that it hasn't in the past. And it's because you had to learn how to still your mind. And that was a little bit why you might have been feeling kind of cut off from your guides of late. Is that conclusion? Yep, this is a card of conclusion. This is a card of conclusion as well. The Ten of Swords means something is done and over, but something new begins. It can't be a more drastic energy than that. We're going to take this one as meditation. Okay, well, so apparently the cards want you to know that I was on the right track with that interpretation. A period of your life is concluding in which you kind of felt like you were driving down a road with no GPS and no map and just kind of going, well, I'm not sure. I've gotten off on a few exits. I'm pretty sure I'm still going in the right direction. I'll just keep looking for the mountains or whatever it is that you're heading towards. That you really felt like you were flying by the seat of your pants for a while. Because you learned how to do that at a higher level, you will actually experience, some people call it a Kundalini rising. It is an expansion of your abilities, and your ability to meditate and get answers from it is actually expanding. The reason that you couldn't for so long is that anxiety was ruling your inner world, and you've learned how to rule your anxiety more and more. And if you haven't gotten there yet, know that if you keep leaning in on doing the healing, it does actually happen. You have to learn how to talk to yourself. You have to learn how to approach problems, or if you have to talk yourself through it, saying, don't be afraid, everything's okay. Over and over again, that's perfectly fine. Whatever you need to help in a healthy fashion is absolutely encouraged. 1 and 2 and 3. Let's get going. Your wish is granted. What you've asked for is coming true. Now, that'll take a different form for different people, quite frankly. And so kind of what I would say is meditate on how to manifest your success, your path, your answers. If you ask too much about other people, you're not likely to get a lot of information. And here's why. It's almost never necessary for your actual path. That's usually the desires of your ego. There's nothing wrong with ego, but when you're working in a spiritual path, you do have to learn how to have that balance where you understand that your wants and needs usually have some like footing or mooring within your emotional damage. And if you heal, then you'll find that your desires for things and people and places and circumstances lessen, that you're able to find more, I kind of want to say, equilibrium throughout every day, where you look at what you have and are less interested in pining for a future that is not here yet. Remember, we only have the present. Try to make the most of every day in some capacity, and it will help. It will help bring you back into balance. But it will also, by the way, if you're one of those people who is like me, where you do not like to sit in very still and try to listen and bliss out and clear your mind, and you don't have to meditate that way. I actually go down and sit by some water. It's a long story. It's in a park. And we'll sit there and just kind of concentrate on the water, and I get a lot of stuff that way. And why? I'm a very active person, and it's really, really difficult. It feels I have a lot of drive. And so if I'm sitting and doing nothing, most of me is like, shouldn't we get up and do something now? I think we should get up and do something now. And that's the thought that I have to clear from my mind. So I do open-eyed meditation. I meditate while I'm working out. I meditate while I'm walking. Walking works really, really well for me. In fact, if you have not been able to conquer stationary meditation, put in healing frequencies, particularly a balancing one, and go for a walk. And by the way, if you're in an area where it's not super safe to walk, where you can't hear anything, only put one earbud in, because you'll still be able to hear what's going on around you, but you'll still be able to hear the healing frequency. So a conclusion on a cycle is it's here, it's nigh. By the time you're seeing this, you may have already kind of grokked to that, where you're like, yep, no, I feel that. And your ability to connect and feel guided and connected is returning. And there is a wish coming true, but for the people who are very focused on a relationship, understand you are very unlikely to get specific information about it, because if you have struggled with codependency, and there is like a crackerjack surprise with being codependent, it means you're very sensitive to others and you're so close to being fully psychic that if you lean in on healing the codependency, your psychic abilities just expand oh so much, because you're already very attuned. And if you become independent rather than codependent, then you still get the answers without it being completely about having another person in your life. So you are unlikely to get a lot of information about romantic relationships going forward in your life. And it is because, and here, by the way, if this is distressing you to hear, it's not your message, because it's only for people who have reached that stage in their spiritual evolution where they're like, yeah, no, what's meant for me is coming to me. And you can always get 1 or 2 readings to check on the intent of the person to see if there's anything else you need to know. But you will, if you've been on this journey for a while, you'll understand that it's not a very satisfying form of divination to look into romantic partnerships exclusively with tarot. It is much more beneficial to find out what it is that you're trying to evolve into, to grow into, what you need to heal in order to get the best use of your particular talents, okay? So that was Spirit Guide Daily for today. A difficult period of your life has closed out, and you can feel it. You can feel it. And a new one is beginning. Ask for as many messages about your path as you can. And remember, if you focus on that while meditating, you're likely to get very clear information on your wishes granted. If you are being denied information about things like wealth or relationships or your personal desires, that doesn't mean they're not coming true. It just means you've been cut off from information, because that's part of your spiritual evolution and your higher self already asked for it. Okay? Take care. Be well. I'll see you next time.